These are creepy TikToks that'll make you rethink your whole reality.
Accusing teachers at the school of ruining kids' minds.
So why, when we have these pathetic people here called teachers, rape children's mind?
This fact makes me cringe, but for every one person on Earth, there are over 200 million insects. Well, if your mom didn't get you a dog for Christmas, I guess you can choose from the 200 million insects.
There are over 18 million abandoned houses in the United States, which is enough for every single homeless person to own 6 of them.
First, in my opinion, one of the worst things you could have ever done in that time is tell any doctor you have a headache. Because how they thought to cure a headache was by drilling a hole in the side of your head to release the demons.
The wife got a big butt, and I just see our life becoming more and more and more like the Incredibles until we can finally fly.
I'm back, it's your boy F-I-T-T-I-Z-E, and today I got a compilation for y'all. Yeah, man, I know, dude. It's been literally like not even that long. Like I've been posting pretty consistent. At the start of February, it was a little bit like not that consistent, you know what I'm saying? Like I took like a 2-week break. It wasn't really a break, I just didn't post. But hey, look, I'm back posting pretty consistent, if you want to come say. So if you guys like the video, please like. Let's try to get the 500 likes this video. If you like the chain, like I say, check the link down in the description. 99% of them are free right now. So if you guys like the chain, just click the link down in the description. Let's just hop right into the video.
What's up? These are scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 27. When you pass away and you were one of those people that donated your body to science, it could be used for one of 3 things. It could be used for medical training, it could be used for forensic research, or it could be used as a crash test dummy in cars. Back when the guillotine was being used very often, people would rush to get their heads chopped off because if they weren't one of the first ones, the blade would end up getting dull, and once the guillotine came down, their head wouldn't be fully chopped off and they would still be alive going through this painful mess. This fact makes me cringe, but for every one person on Earth, there are over 200 million insects. Well, if your mom didn't get you a dog for Christmas, I guess you can choose from the 200 million insects. There's something known as a boom-slaying snake, and its venom will cause you to bleed from every hole in your body, and I mean every single hole. There's something known as a poop bank, and you can get feces by the bottle there. That's disgusting.
Nah, 200 animals per human being alive is insane. That's a lot of freaking... Wait, it's not even animals, it's insects. It's over. That's a lot of insects, dude. Like, hell no. I don't even like insects in general. It's funny how small insects are, but as a big human that's literally over 5'6" definitely shouldn't say that because I'm definitely taller than 5'6". But like, as a human that's taller than these insects, you'd be looking at them like, ew, like, get away from me. Like, you'd be terrified, I swear to God. Like, I'd be like, ew, no. Mostly for spiders. I'm like, nah, get away from me, bro.
Dark facts about Disney, part 1. This is one of the biggest cover-ups ever made by Disney. On December 24th, 1999, 2 park guests and an employee were involved in a bad accident on the sailing ship Columbia Ride. Basically, a heavy metal cleat became loose and it hit those guests and the employee. Sadly, one of the guests and his wife was hospitalized, but Disney failed to tell the police. And when the police did arrive, Disney cleaned up the mess as quickly as possible. They even refused to let in outside medical personnel. They were scared that a death on their hands would look bad on them, and that it would frighten their guests. As a result of their actions, though, they were actually taken to court and they got some hefty fines. Make sure to like and follow for part 2. Also, you can check me out on YouTube, link in bio.
I mean, that's understandable. If you're at an amusement park and something like that happened, you don't really want that to get out there. But you know what's worse than that? Is exactly what they did. Is that they try to cover it up. And now people know they try to cover it up, which is, in my opinion, worse than just being like, yo, cop, some guy accidentally, like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, R.I.P. Disney, man. They went about it in the worst way.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 42. Back during the Antiquity era, Spartan warriors had a dish called black soup, and it was made of boiled pig legs and sounds appetizing, doesn't it? Back between the 15 and 1800s, women were forced to wear something called a scold's bridle. It was a mask that went around your head and had a metal piece that went on your tongue to keep you from gossiping or sharing words that didn't need to be said. Supposedly, the reason you wake up right before you die in a dream is because your brain doesn't know what comes after death. I know you guys probably know this fact, but it's still just very mind-boggling to me. But if humans were to other humans at the same rate that they animals, we would be extinct in 17 days. When the Siamese twin Daisy Hilton Her sister Violet, still attached at the hip, wasn't found for days after she so she was just sitting there with her sister's body.
The one about the sisters, that one is insane. Damn, man. Said she was just attached to her, just like, bruh. You know, that should be traumatizing. But the human part and the animals thing too. Yeah, man. Just think about it. I feel like that's like the real version of what hell would be. Like, imagine you died and just get reincarnated into like the slaughterhouse, and you're just constantly just getting reincarnated into like different cows, just over and over. You know, that'd be terrible. I feel like that's what like real hell is, if you ask me.
Darkest cartoon fan theories that will make you rethink everything. The Rugrats theory. This theory states that all of the babies in Rugrats are not alive and are part of Angelica's imagination. Chucky and his mom were lost in a car accident. This would explain why Chaz is always a nervous wreck. Tommy was a stillborn. This would explain why Stu is always in the basement making toys for the son he never had. Phil and Lil's mom had an abortion, and since Angelica never knew the baby's gender, she imagined twins. Kimmy is Asian. Ash's coma theory. This theory states that in the first episode of Pokemon, Ash falls into a coma. And every episode since then has just been a product of his comatose dreams. This would explain why throughout all these years, he's still 10 years old. Adventure Time coma theory. Basically the same exact thing, but with Finn from Adventure Time. Also, he tried to take his own life by swallowing pills. Phineas and Ferb dark theory. Strangely, all of these theories share one thing in common. They're all the stupidest I've ever heard in my entire life.
But nah, those are some interesting theories if you ask me. And I'm not gonna lie, he's not wrong. Like, I feel like some of them are pretty stupid, but hey, it's just a theory.
Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 15. In the original version of Little Red Riding Hood, instead of just the wolf eating the grandmother, it was supposed to consist of the wolf and the granddaughter eating the grandmother. Sorry, Grandma. In a survey that many commercial pilots were asked to take, 56% of them admitted to falling asleep behind the wheel. Now you know why so many people are afraid of planes. There's a respiratory disease called Onden's Curse that if you fall asleep, you could potentially die. That's why you need to stay awake for as long as you can. Some theaters actually hired priests to bless the viewers in a theater after watching the movie The Conjuring because they felt a negative presence. Yeah, it was probably a demon. The TV show Little Bill, who was made by Bill Cosby, was actually based on Bill Cosby's son, who was murdered when he was 27 while changing his tire on the side of the interstate.
One thing I will say about the pilot though, it makes sense because if you really think about it, airplanes are naturally just an autopilot throughout the air. Like, the only part where the pilot really needs to be there is during landing and takeoff. That's usually what I've heard. So I feel like if they do fall asleep in the middle of the air and they have a co-pilot, they should be good. But if both of the co-pilots were asleep, okay, now you're just bugging, bro.
Creepy facts that will give you nightmares. There are over 18 million abandoned houses in the United States, which is enough for every single homeless person to own 6 of them. There are tons of living bacteria inside of your belly button right now. During World War II, an American plane crash-landed on a Japanese island. Out of the 9 men on board, 8 of them were captured and eaten, and the one man who survived was George H.W. Bush. Scaphism was one of the worst ancient torture methods ever. It consisted of covering the victim's body completely with honey and feeding them to insects, all while alive.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 14. If you ever ended up getting hit by lightning, this weird skin design called Lichtenberg figures will show up on your skin, and trust me, it does not feel good. At all. Back in ancient Rome, if you ever ended up somebody's dad, your punishment would be being sewn up in a sack full of a chicken, a dog, and a viper, and being thrown in the middle of the ocean so they can eat you to death. Let's hope this one doesn't happen to us because it sounds super painful, but people can actually spontaneously burst into flames. It's called spontaneous human combustion, where they just burst into a ball of flames for no apparent reason. I'm guessing you guys would probably consider this next one more weird than scary, but I'd be pretty scared if this happened to me. But men can actually lactate under very harsh circumstances. Well, I guess that means we're starting to do the breastfeeding now. Here's a weird and scary one. Britney Spears actually sold her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000. And here's the 2 scary things about it. She sold her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000, and someone bought her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000.
Oh nah, I feel like as a celebrity, you can make money so easily. You could probably just sell the tissue you blew your nose with, and then you'll probably make like easy $10,000, $15,000. Just like, I don't know. I feel like once you reach that status, it's just so easy to just make so much more money compared to like just being a regular or average person, I guess you could say. I don't really believe and just being like, oh yeah, that's just an average Joe over there. Like, I guess you could just, I mean, I guess it is what it is, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird just being like, oh yeah, average celebrity, average poor. Like what? Like why is it just categorizing people? Hey man, it is what it is. That's how it is nowadays. But yeah, I also heard about the one where you can catch on fire randomly. I remember like 2 years ago when I first heard about that, I was kind of paranoid. Like, yo, what if I'm just chilling here and then all of a sudden just like what?
Facts that will give you nightmares, part 3. First up, we could easily solve the problem of American homelessness. We're just not doing it. On average, there are 17 million vacant homes in America at any given time, and according to endhomelessness.org, there are roughly 500,000 people in the states who are homeless. So why aren't we fixing it? The math isn't mathing. Next up, humans shed skin, we know that, but we shed a lot of skin. According to the World Health Organization and recent studies, the average human will shed 112 pounds of skin in their lifetime. That is nasty. And lastly, what sounds like one of the most terrifying medical conditions, locked-in syndrome, exists. This condition refers to somebody being trapped in a coma-like state and being aware of it. You know you're awake and you can hear and see things, but you can't talk and you can only move your eyes. So essentially, you're not able to respond to anything. Like and follow for part 4.
That last one is pretty scary. That's like being in like, it's not even like being in a coma. It's like being in a sleep paralysis. Like you feel and look everything, but you can't move. You know how scary that must be? Just being like just having a body that you just can't control. Like just imagine you right now, you can walk up. You could get up, go walk, go for a walk, get some food, eat, rest. You know what I'm saying? Watch a movie. Now imagine just being able to get up, like sit up and not move. Like you're just stuck in one place. Like, you know the Get Out movie where he was just stuck in the sunken chair just like this? Now imagine if you were that dude, but instead of being in a sunken place, you just can only use your eyes. You're just like, scary stuff.
What's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 33. The Pentagon actually has a plan to combat zombies if it were to ever happen. In fact, there was a document that stated that it was in training and they used scenarios to make it look like zombie outbreaks. So if they're not worried about us eventually having a zombie apocalypse, then why do they have the training? In 2013, the law allowed a man to marry his 13-year-old adopted daughter. I guess that's where Tony Lopez needs to move next. There is a company that took the dead skin from executed convicts and used the skin for beauty products. Please don't tell me you were one of those people that bought from that company, because that's just creepy. Heroin was once used to treat people that were addicted to morphine and was supposed to help. Yeah, funny how the tables turned. Pisces are the most common zodiac signs to be linked with serial killers. That's great. I'm a Pisces. Don't worry guys, I'm not gonna murder you yet.
If you know a Pisces, you gotta send them this video. Be like, yo, you are more likely to become a serial. That's the same thing they said about people born in November. So if you're born in November and you're, wait, is Pisces people born in November? I'll look that up right now. Nah, that's a lie, because they said the serial killers were in November and Pisces is from February to like March. Huh, it's a little bit strange.
Here are some more scary facts that you probably didn't know. Until now. First up, if the sun exploded right now, you wouldn't know about it for another 8 minutes. The energy from the explosion would be traveling at the speed of light, which means it would take about 8 minutes and 20 seconds for it to travel from the sun to the earth. My question is, would we die? Like, what would happen? Next up, and this one scares the out of me. 20% of children report that they hear voices. So when a child says that they have an imaginary friend, this could be the reason why they hear voices. They are seeing some paranormal activity. But to be honest, I remember I had an imaginary friend. So, and lastly, around the world, there are up to 40 supervolcanoes that have the ability to take 1 billion lives. And with that being said, we are 24,000 years overdue for an eruption. I am scared. We don't know when these things are gonna blow up.
Now, what's really baffling my brain is the fact that this dude said, yeah, the sun is, if the sun explodes, it would take 8 minutes for us to actually know. Then he said, would we die? Obviously, the sun exploded. We're done. This whole solar system that we're in is done. The sun has exploded. The sun is like the heart of the solar system. So if that thing is gone, we're gone. It's that simple. Why is he asking like, yo, are we gonna die? Like, obviously.
Here are 4 medieval medical facts that will give you physical nightmares, and they get worse as the video goes on. Oh, and it'll make you thank feck you were born in the 21st century. At first, in my opinion, one of the worst things you could have ever done in that time is tell any doctor you have a headache. Because how they thought to cure a headache was by drilling a hole in the side of your head to release the demons. Oh, and do you think you get any anesthetic for that? No! Oh, and I should probably add that the doctors back then didn't know fuck all about human anatomy. They didn't know, and they also didn't give a shit. And because of this, doctors back then really didn't care at all if they were causing their patient pain, in which I promise you would have been experiencing. Next up is the horrifying truth behind cataract eye surgery. This fact makes me want to physically cringe into the next world. Now let me tell you why. How you doing, man? All the surgeons would use a painful procedure known as needling. This is where, with zero anesthetic, the doctor will insert this needle into the side of the patient's cornea. What? Finally, you better hope nothing's wrong with your fucking teeth, or you'd have to go to the tooth man, a person who traveled with musicians to drown out the screams of his patients. Nope.
And I've talked about this in one of my other videos. Back in those days, you could tell someone like, yeah, you know, my left arm hurt. They're like, oh, we're gonna have to chop it off. Like, why are you inserting things into my eyes like that? Like, I told you I got a medical condition. You just want to shove something in my brain? It's kind of crazy how they think that would work back in the day. It's like I'm saying, like, realistically, how do we know that nowadays half the things that we practice are actually safe? Like, could be like, oh, a couple years from now, like, back then, taking Advil was actually the craziest things they were doing. Like, they'd have no idea how harmful the Advil is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never even know.
3 famous songs with terrifying backstories. Snoop Dogg's brother-in-law, Jermaine Fuller, was the singer of Peanut Butter Jelly Time. He died after an 11-hour standoff with police despite Snoop begging him to surrender. 15-year-old Jeremy Dell shot himself in the head in front of an entire class of 30 kids. His classmates felt extremely guilty for not befriending him, and his death inspired the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam. Doc Pomus of the Drifters wrote "Save the Last Dance for Me" because he was in a wheelchair due to polio and wasn't able to dance with his wife. At the wedding, he watched his friends dance with her and went home later to write the song. I've added these songs as well as many others to a playlist, and trust me, it's much different listening when you know the dark truth. New things in a woman on a recent Delta Airlines flight surprised fellow passengers when she began breastfeeding her hairless cat mid-flight. A marijuana shop in Massachusetts just broke the world record for the largest pot brownie, cooking a ginormous 850-pound THC dessert. And judging by the look on these people's faces, that brownie is not the only thing that's baked. Someone just paid $7,753 for school papers graded by Elon Musk himself. And as it turns out, he was a pretty tough grader. New York firefighters have recently rescued a completely naked man who was trapped inside of a theater's bathroom wall. 23-year-old Koshan Dion Baker was just registered as a sex offender and is required to stay 100 yards from all barns and stables. Turns out he'd been sneaking into a local equestrian center and making love to the horses without their consent.
Why horses, dude? What the hell? Nah, that's kind of strange. That dude is strange for that. Why horses?
Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl. Part 6. Zion Clark was born without legs because of a rare genetic condition and dreams of becoming a multi-time Olympic champion. He recently achieved the record for the fastest man on his hands in the world. Measured at a length of 24 feet, Ayanna Williams has the female record for the longest fingernails on a pair of hands. This video shows 20-year-old Karubal Yilma from Ethiopia performing a unique talent as he attempts to achieve the record for the longest time to spray water from his mouth. He achieved the record spraying water for 56 seconds straight. This clip shows Sultan Kosin from Turkey and Chandra Dongi from Nepal, meeting for the first time in 2014. At the time, Sultan was the tallest man in the world, measuring a staggering 8 feet 2 inches, whereas Chandra was the shortest, measuring just 21.5 inches tall.
Nah, that dude is 8 foot. He had to walk with a cane. That's how you know, man. Apparently people that are actually taller die quicker. The average height or being a little bit shorter is actually better for your overall health. I don't know how you could really support being 8 foot though. That's actually a little bit insane. Get that dude in the NBA, he'd probably score OD. He's like literally 2 feet away from touching, like his head touching the basket. That's insane.
I used to see a bunch of fat, ugly women.
An update about this old man that decided to walk into the school board and let his intrusive thoughts win.
Good evening, cowards. I used to see a bunch of fat, ugly women.
Excuse you!
What?
Can we skip the agenda? No.
No. I'm speaking. No. They're fat, ugly women is what they are. Let's talk about it. You don't have to buy.
That ain't free speech.
It's called free speech. Buy.
That's not free speech. That's insulting.
The man named Rich was upset about the book called Boy Toy being allowed in the student library, accusing teachers at the school of ruining kids' minds.
So why, when we have these pathetic people here called teachers, rape children's mind, indoctrinating people? That's why you people don't have the brains to see that this could be hurting children of the future.
Excuse me?
You don't tell me how to speak. Well, shut up and give me my five. Bye, girls.
The Boy Toy book was allowed to stay at the kids' library. But what do you think about this? Was he right?
Very interesting clip we just looked at, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's right or wrong, but I will say that he kind of, because you can say whatever you want at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, but he did come in a little bit high. I feel like he should have came in a little bit more respectful and gave his point of view a little bit more masculine, if that makes it sound, like being like, excuse me everyone, but like, this is my opinion about whatever. He shouldn't have came in just insulting people like, listen, you all are bad, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he just came in more subtle and like actually, I guess, understanding, I feel like everyone else would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense, like, I get your point of view. Instead of he just came in insulting everyone, just like, take this book down right now. Going about things that way never works, ever. If anything, that makes it worse, because people are like, yo, why should I listen to this bozo? Like, he just insulted me, I'm about to just take it and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to it. Like, nah, never go about things that way. That's the worst thing you could do. But at the end of the day, it is freedom of speech, so you can say whatever you want, but hey man, just know there's consequences.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
You know, we don't have a jacuzzi.
Can you believe that? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi? Kanye, what's the best part about being a dad? The kids.
I am proud to say that I've taught him, given him like really good financial advice on saving.
You give me some advice, but I don't listen to it.
After 6 years, are you happy to be back and performing tonight? Much anticipated performance with Paul McCartney and Rihanna.
I'm just extremely happy. Can you tell by my face?
Do you feel like your attitude towards women has changed since having daughters?
Nah, I still look at Pornhub and...
We just got this magazine, Bizarre Magazine. There you are with the kids. Oh, they're very, very cute. Climbing on your head. Do you dress them? Do you pick their outfits? Mm-hmm. You do? Is that fun for you? Mm-hmm. Do you design outfits for them? Mm-hmm. You do?
Looked at him, he said, take your hands off your face. I said, look, sir, you're going to have to ask me nicely to take my hands off my face. Please talk to me with some type of respect. And he said, okay, Mr. West, can you please take your hands off your face? And I said, no.
Hey, boy. Regret. Hey, boy.
Don't call me boy.
Don't finish. I told you. Oh, don't treat me like a boy then.
I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Or consider doing this, this recording, like, what do you call it, this interview? This interview is because of the movie The Incredibles.
Why?
It starts off with the interviews. The superheroes are giving interviews. The wife got a big butt, and I just see our life becoming more and more and more like The Incredibles until we can finally fly.
I would say you just have to wing it. My sisters and I are on a group chat, always getting parenting advice.
But they don't get advice from me. Can I get on that chat, please?
All right, Kanye, give us 3 things that are hairy.
Balls, balls, balls.
Yeah, name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
Smile.
Kanye West, that's Kanye, bruh. I remember when he was trying to run for presidency back in 2020, I was like, yo, ain't no way. Imagine he did it, though. Imagine Kanye West was president right as we speak instead of Joseph R. Biden. I'm like, damn, Kanye, you moving like that, huh? Nah, man. Gotta love Ye, though, dude. Gotta love Ye. But anyways, if you guys like the video, please like the video. Let's try to hit 500 likes this video. If you like the chain, check the link down in the description. Thank you guys for all the support. If you guys want to be a part of my video, drop this super thanks. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.